In the vast and beautiful wilderness where every sunrise brings new possibilities, the rules of survival are written and rewritten with every heartbeat. Here the landscape is a living tapestry, woven with the stories of countless creatures, each playing their part in a drama that unfolds far from the eyes of the world. We picture the mighty lion as the king, the swift cheetah as the ultimate hunter, and the great shark as the ruler of the seas. These icons of power and speed seem invincible, their reputations built on countless victories in the wild. We imagine that bigger, stronger, and faster animals always win. The towering elephant, the relentless wolf, the soaring eagle, each appears to dominate their domain, enforcing the law of the strongest. But the natural world is far more complex and surprising than we can ever imagine. In the tangled undergrowth, in the shadowy depths, and across the open plains, unexpected encounters unfold every day, encounters that defy our expectations and challenge the very idea of who is predator and who is prey. It's a place filled with unexpected heroes and astonishing tales of courage. Imagine a tiny mongoose standing its ground against a cobra, or a porcupine bristling its quills to send a leopard retreating into the night. Sometimes the animal you expect to be the meal turns the tables on the hunter. A hare, cornered by a fox, suddenly darts and weaves with such agility that the predator is left bewildered, outmaneuvered by its intended prey. The smallest creatures can stand up to the largest giants, proving that size isn't everything. A field mouse, with nothing but its wits, may confront a hawk, darting and dodging until the raptor gives up the chase. This is a world where bravery, clever tricks, and the powerful instinct to protect one's family can change the outcome of a dangerous encounter. A mother gazelle, sensing danger, will feign injury to lure a predator away from her hidden fawn, risking her own safety for the next generation. An animal that seems helpless might have a secret weapon it has been waiting to use. The bombardier beetle, for example, unleashes a boiling chemical spray when threatened, sending would-be attackers fleeing in confusion. A group of smaller animals might work together as a team to drive away a powerful foe. Meerkats, standing shoulder to shoulder, will mob a snake, their coordinated movements and sharp calls overwhelming the intruder. These moments are not just rare occurrences. They are a fundamental part of life in the wild. Every day animals face off intense standoffs, each encounter a test of nerve, strategy, and sometimes pure luck. They show us that survival is not just about strength, but also about spirit and ingenuity. An octopus cornered by a hungry moray eel squeezes through the tiniest crevice, vanishing in a cloud of ink and leaving its pursuer baffled. Every creature, no matter how small or seemingly weak, has a will to live. A caterpillar, clinging to a leaf in a storm, endures against the odds, its determination as fierce as any lion's roar. These incredible battles remind us that nature is not a simple story with a predictable ending. A standoff between a honey badger and a pride of lions may end with the badger walking away, battered but unbowed, its reputation for fearlessness proven once again. It is a grand, unfolding drama, with twists and turns at every corner. A sudden rustle in the grass can change the fate of hunter and hunted in an instant. A cornered animal can become a fierce warrior. Even the meekest creature, when faced with no escape, may reveal a ferocity that stuns its attacker. A mother protecting her young can find strength she never knew she had. The sight of a mother bear charging a wolf pack or a bird diving at a snake to defend her nest is a testament to the power of instinct and love. From the sun-baked plains of Africa, where herds thunder across the savannah, to the darkest depths of the ocean, where strange creatures wage silent battles, the so-called underdogs are constantly rewriting the rules. They show us that courage comes in all shapes and sizes, and that, in the wild, you should always expect the unexpected. A tiny frog may leap from a predator's jaws, or a herd of buffalo may turn and charge a pride of lions, sending the hunters scattering. In this exploration, we will journey into these moments of incredible defiance. We will witness the split-second decisions, the daring escapes, and the bold stands that define life in the wild. We will meet the animals who messed with the wrong opponent and lived to tell the tale. Each story is a testament to the unpredictability and wonder of nature. We will uncover the secrets behind their success, from powerful chemical sprays to astonishing leaps of faith. From camouflage that renders them invisible to teamwork that turns the tables on the fiercest adversaries. Prepare to be amazed by the resilience and bravery of the animal kingdom. Each encounter is a lesson in adaptation, determination, and the will to survive. You will see that in the great theatre of nature, the most exciting stories often belong to those who refuse to give up, proving that even the smallest heart can hold the greatest courage. In this world, every day brings a new surprise, and every creature has a story worth telling. Deep within the dense emerald jungles of Asia, a silent tension hangs in the air. Every leaf, every shadow conceals a story of survival, a relentless contest of strength, cunning, and sheer willpower. Here, the jungle is a living chessboard, where every animal is both a player and a piece, locked in a never-ending battle for dominance and survival. At the top of this hierarchy prowls the Bengal tiger, a master of stealth and power. With each step, it moves like a shadow, muscles rippling beneath its striped coat, eyes fixed on the world with unwavering focus. The tiger's hunting strategy is a blend of patience and explosive action. It stalks its prey for hours, using the thick undergrowth as cover, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When it does, it unleashes a burst of speed and power, aiming to end the chase in seconds. But not all prey is easily subdued. The gaur, a colossal wild cattle, stands as a living fortress in the jungle. Its sheer size and strength make it a daunting adversary, and its presence commands respect from even the fiercest predators. When a tiger sets its sights on a gaur, the jungle holds its breath. The tiger circles, searching for weakness, while the gaur stands its ground, muscles tensed, nostrils flaring, ready for the coming storm. The gaur's defense is formidable. Its horns, sharp and curved, are not just weapons, they are shields wielded with precision and force. The gaur lowers its head, presenting a wall of muscle and bone, daring the tiger to make its move. But the true strength of the gaur lies in unity. When danger approaches, the herd transforms. Individuals close ranks, forming a living barricade, their bodies pressed together, horns angled outward in a show of collective defiance. The tiger, expecting chaos, is met instead with discipline. The herd's front line stands unbroken, their eyes locked on the predator, their bodies ready to surge forward as one. In a flash, the battle escalates. The gaur may charge, hooves pounding the earth, horns thrusting forward. The tiger, caught off guard, must decide, fight or flee. A single misstep could mean disaster, as the combined force of the herd is overwhelming. The ground trembles beneath the weight of the charging gaur. Dust swirls, and the air vibrates with the sound of their unified advance. The tiger, for all its prowess, recognizes the futility of facing such power alone. Sometimes the tiger feints, testing the herd's resolve, but the gaur respond with swift kicks and lunges, their horns slicing the air, forcing the predator to retreat into the shadows. In these dramatic encounters, the tiger learns a harsh lesson. Brute strength and cunning are no match for the unwavering will and unity of the gaur. The jungle's balance is maintained not by the might of one, but by the collective strength of many. The herd, now victorious, stands tall and unyielding. Their formation is a testament to the power of cooperation, a living fortress that no single predator can breach. In the wild, every day is a battle of wills, and in these epic confrontations, it is often the courage to stand together, the strategy of unity, and the refusal to yield that decide who prevails and who retreats into the shadows. Across the vast savannas of Africa, the tangled forests of Asia, and the wild corners of the world, a select group of animals prove that size is no measure of power. These are the small but mighty creatures whose strength, intelligence, and sheer willpower allow them to triumph against all odds. Among them, the honey badger has earned a legendary reputation for its sheer audacity. But it is not alone. The mongoose, the wolverine, and others share this remarkable legacy. These animals are not large, nor are they the fastest. At first glance, they might not seem intimidating. But beneath their modest exteriors lies a spirit that refuses to yield. The honey badger, for example, is a master of survival. Despite its relatively small size, it is widely considered one of the most fearless animals on the planet. The mongoose, too, is famous for its courage, often taking on venomous snakes and emerging victorious. What makes these animals so formidable? It's a combination of physical adaptations and an indomitable will. The honey badger, for instance, will stand its ground against lions, leopards, and hyenas, predators many times its size. Their rule is simple: never back down from a fight. The wolverine, known as the glutton, will defend its meal from wolves and even bears, using its strength and ferocity to claim victory. But what makes them so tough? For the honey badger, it starts with its skin, incredibly thick, tough and loose. The honey badger's skin is nearly impossible to pierce. The wolverine's dense fur and powerful muscles protect it from the cold and from attacks. The honey badger's rubbery hide shields it from bee stings, porcupine quills, and even venomous snake bites. The mongoose, meanwhile, has evolved resistance to certain snake venoms, allowing it to battle cobras and vipers with astonishing success. If a predator grabs a honey badger, it can twist inside its loose skin to bite back with powerful jaws. The mongoose's lightning-fast reflexes and sharp teeth make it a nightmare for snakes. The honey badger's teeth are strong enough to crush tortoise shells, while the wolverine's jaws can snap bones to reach the rich marrow inside. But perhaps their greatest weapon is attitude. The honey badger, the wolverine, and the mongoose all share a relentless, fearless spirit. They simply do not know when to quit. They will attack, defend, and persist until the threat is gone. Relentlessly, they defend their food and territory, often driving off much larger rivals. There are stories of honey badgers chasing young lions from their kills, and mongooses banding together to drive off jackals and birds of prey. They charge headfirst into danger, hissing, snarling, and roaring with a ferocity that shocks even the most seasoned predators. This unpredictable aggression often confuses larger animals, who are unprepared for such a determined and violent fight from such a small opponent. They expect fear, but instead they are met with pure, untamed rage and cunning. These little warriors are perfect examples of how spirit and adaptation can make an animal a giant in its own right. They may not have the size of a buffalo or the speed of a cheetah, but they possess something just as valuable: an unbreakable will to survive and a refusal to be intimidated. In the animal kingdom, courage, intelligence, and a never-say-die attitude can be the most powerful weapons of all. These small but mighty animals prove time and again that it's not the size of the animal in the fight, but the size of the fight in the animal. Their victories are legendary, their strength surprising, and their stories unforgettable. Picture a creature smaller than a house cat, with eyes sharp as daggers and nerves of steel. In the vast, sun-baked plains of Africa, where danger lurks behind every blade of grass, this tiny animal dares to challenge the giants of its world. Imagine it standing up to the undisputed king of the savannah, the lion, whose very presence sends most animals fleeing in terror. This might sound like a tale spun around a campfire, but in the wild, stories of courage are written every day, and sometimes the smallest creatures are the boldest authors. The mongoose, a slender, quick-footed animal, is a master of audacity. Its courage is legendary, whispered about among the grass and echoed in the wary glances of predators. While a single mongoose would never dream of hunting a lion, it will not hesitate to defend itself or its family with a ferocity that belies its size. When threatened, the mongoose transforms from a cautious forager into a fearless defender, ready to risk everything for survival. This is never more apparent than when a pride of lions wanders too close to a mongoose den, where the next generation lies hidden and helpless. The den, a sanctuary carved into the earth, becomes a fortress when danger approaches. The protective instinct of a mongoose is a force of nature, fierce and unyielding. In one unforgettable encounter, a single mongoose faced down a pride of lions, its body tense, eyes blazing with defiance. The lions, curious and perhaps amused by the tiny challenger, circled closer, their massive paws silent on the earth. But the mongoose did not flinch. It stood its ground, tail bristling, refusing to yield an inch. With a dramatic arch of its back and fur fluffed to double its size, the mongoose became a living warning sign. It bared its teeth, unleashing a barrage of high-pitched chatters and hisses that sliced through the air. Then, with lightning speed, it darted at the lions' noses, snapping and feinting, a blur of motion too quick to catch. The lions, each one capable of ending the standoff with a single swipe, hesitated, their confidence shaken by the mongoose's audacity. Startled, they backed away, their eyes wide with surprise at the tiny animal's unbreakable spirit. The mongoose's strategy was pure psychological warfare, turning fear into confusion and confusion into safety. Its erratic movements and unpredictable attacks made it impossible for the lions to focus, their predatory instincts thrown into chaos. Predators like lions expect their prey to run, to cower, to show fear. But when faced with boldness, their certainty crumbles. When a small animal charges instead of fleeing, it disrupts the natural order, forcing even the mightiest hunter to reconsider. The mongoose's shrill cries and relentless energy made it a target not worth the trouble, a lesson learned by many predators. The lions, more confused and irritated than aggressive, found themselves outmatched, not by strength, but by sheer willpower. They exchanged puzzled glances, as if questioning the rules of the wild they thought they knew so well. The mongoose, tiny and unarmed, refused to play the part of prey, rewriting the script with every defiant step. This standoff was more than a battle. It was a lesson in the power of boldness, a reminder that courage can tip the scales. The mongoose had no horns, no armor, no venomous bite, just a heart that refused to yield. Its determination to protect its home and family was its greatest weapon, and it wielded it with unmatched ferocity. The gamble paid off. The lions, faced with a foe that would not break, slowly retreated, bested by bravery alone. After a tense standoff, the lions lost interest, slinking away as the mongoose stood victorious. The savannah returned to calm, but the echoes of the mongoose's courage lingered in the air. Against overwhelming odds, the mongoose proved that sometimes the boldest heart can change the outcome of any encounter. In the wild, where every day is a test of survival, it is often the daring, the defiant, and the bold who write the most unforgettable stories. Section 5. The Fierce Mother Hen, a Protector's Fury. In the quiet world of the barnyard, chickens are often seen as gentle, peaceful creatures, content to scratch in the dirt for seeds and insects, their days filled with soft clucks and the rustle of feathers. But among them, the mother hen stands as a silent sentinel, her watchful eyes never straying far from her brood of fluffy peeping chicks. Yet beneath her calm exterior lies a force of nature. Should danger approach, the transformation is instant. Her feathers bristle, her eyes sharpen, and her entire body radiates a fierce determination. When her chicks are threatened, the mother hen becomes a whirlwind of protective energy, ready to face down any adversary, no matter how imposing. This instinct to protect is not unique to chickens. Across the animal kingdom, mothers become warriors when their young are in peril. A lioness will bare her teeth and charge at hyenas. An elephant mother will form an impenetrable wall around her calf, and a bear will roar with thunderous rage to drive away any threat. The mother hen, though small, is armed with a surprising array of defensive tactics, each one honed by generations of survival. When a threat looms, be it a hawk circling above, a fox slinking through the grass, or a snake gliding toward her nest, her first move is a piercing, urgent call that slices through the air. Instantly her chicks respond, scattering in all directions or diving beneath her wings, vanishing from sight in a heartbeat. But this is only the beginning of her defense. If the danger persists, she readies herself for battle. With a sudden burst of energy, she charges at the intruder, her body low, wings spread wide, and eyes blazing with resolve. She puffs up her feathers, doubling her apparent size, and lowers her head in a show of defiance, making herself look as intimidating as possible. Her beak, usually used for foraging, becomes a weapon. She strikes with precision, aiming for the eyes and most sensitive spots of her foe. Even against much larger animals, her relentless pecking can drive them back, her courage outweighing her size. She leaps into the air, claws extended, slashing and scratching with surprising agility, her movements a blur of feathers and fury. Her wings, usually reserved for short flights, now become battering rams, beating against her opponent with powerful, rapid strokes. All the while, she unleashes a barrage of squawks and screeches, a cacophony meant to startle and disorient, turning the encounter into a chaotic storm of sound and motion. Many predators, caught off guard by this sudden, ferocious defense, abandon their attack in confusion, retreating from the onslaught of a mother's wrath. When the danger has passed, the mother hen gathers her chicks close, standing tall and vigilant, her bravery a shield that has kept her family safe. She does not fight for herself, but for the fragile lives hidden beneath her wings, for the future of her kind. This selfless courage echoes throughout the animal world. Moose mothers will charge at wolves, swans will attack foxes with flapping wings and hissing beaks, and even tiny rodents will bare their teeth to defend their young. The rage of a mother protecting her offspring is a force that few dare to challenge. a primal power that can turn the meekest creature into a formidable adversary. The humble chicken, like so many animal mothers, reminds us that the instinct to protect can transform the gentle into the fierce and the vulnerable into the bravest of defenders. In the wild, a mother's love is not just tender, it is a shield, a weapon, and a force that shapes the destiny of the next generation. Deep within the tangled undergrowth and towering leaves of the insect world, a silent war rages on. This miniature jungle is alive with conflict, where every day is a battle for survival and every creature is both hunter and hunted. Here the ground is a battlefield and the air is thick with tension. Ants march in disciplined columns, defending their territory from rival colonies, while ambush predators lurk beneath leaves, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Predators and prey are locked in an ancient dance. A praying mantis, perfectly camouflaged, sways with the breeze, its raptorial arms poised to snatch an unsuspecting victim. Yet even the smallest prey can turn the tables with astonishing tactics. Among these warriors, the bombardier beetle stands out as a master of chemical warfare. This unassuming insect is a living arsenal, equipped with a defense that few predators dare to challenge. To a hungry frog or a marauding ant, the beetle may seem like an easy meal, but beneath its armored shell lies a secret weapon, ready to be unleashed at the first sign of danger. When threatened, the beetle stands its ground. It does not flee, nor does it cower. Instead, it prepares for battle. With a precise aim, it fires a boiling, noxious chemical spray from its rear, targeting the face of its attacker. The jet is so hot and caustic that it can burn and blind, forcing even the boldest predator to retreat. This is no ordinary defense. The beetle's body is a laboratory where two chemicals are stored separately until the moment of attack. When danger looms, the chemicals mix in a reinforced chamber, triggering a violent reaction that propels the scalding spray outward with a loud pop. Inside, the beetle's anatomy is a marvel of engineering. Two chambers, each holding a different compound, are connected to a muscular valve. Only when the beetle contracts the right muscles do the chemicals combine, creating an explosive burst of heat and pressure. The reaction is instantaneous. The beetle's rear glows with the heat of the chemical process, and the resulting spray is ejected in rapid pulses, each one a warning to any would-be attacker. The air fills with a steamy, acrid cloud, and the popping sound echoes through the undergrowth. Predators recoil, their senses overwhelmed by the heat and stench. For many attackers, this is enough to end the fight. The boiling spray not only burns but also leaves a lingering odor that marks the beetle as a dangerous target. Ants with their sensitive antennae are especially vulnerable. A single blast can incapacitate or even kill, sending a clear message to the rest of the colony. Larger predators, like frogs, are not immune. A frog that attempts to swallow the beetle is met with a mouthful of scalding chemicals, forcing it to spit out its would-be prey in shock and pain. Imagine the chaos inside the frog's mouth as the beetle's defense erupts, turning a simple meal into a fiery ordeal. In a desperate attempt to escape the burning sensation, the frog ejects the beetle, who tumbles to the ground battered but alive. Covered in slime but otherwise unharmed, the beetle resumes its journey, a survivor of yet another battle in the endless war of the undergrowth. The bombardier beetle is just one of many insect warriors. Each species has evolved its own unique arsenal, turning the forest floor into a showcase of survival strategies. Some caterpillars bristle with toxic spines, deterring even the hungriest predators with a single touch. Ladybugs, though small and colorful, ooze a foul-tasting fluid from their legs, warning attackers that they are not to be trifled with. Ants, the soldiers of the insect world, wield powerful stings and work together in coordinated attacks, overwhelming threats many times their size. Insects may be small, but their resilience and ingenuity make them formidable opponents. They face down giants, outwit predators, and adapt to every challenge the wild throws at them. Through chemical warfare, armored bodies, sharp spines, and teamwork, these tiny titans wage their battles with relentless determination, each encounter a testament to their will to survive. In the world of insect warfare, victory belongs not to the biggest, but to the cleverest and most adaptable. Here, every day is a struggle, and every survivor is a champion of nature's endless creativity. The ocean is a world of immense predators and constant danger. At the top of the food chain swims the great white shark, a hunter so perfect it has ruled the seas for millions of years. For most marine animals, an encounter with a shark means the end. But even here in the vast blue expanse, the underdog sometimes has a fighting chance. Some sea creatures have developed incredible ways to escape or fight back against these powerful hunters. One of the most dramatic examples comes from the stingray, an animal that might look like a slow, graceful glider but holds a secret weapon and a surprising skill. Stingrays are famous for the sharp, venomous barb on their tail. This is purely a defensive weapon, used only when the stingray feels threatened, such as when it is attacked by a predator. A strike from this barb can inflict a painful, serious wound, and it can be an effective deterrent against many attackers. But sometimes a shark is too big and too powerful to be stopped by the barb alone. In these moments, some stingrays have been observed using an even more spectacular escape tactic. They leap out of the water. Imagine a great hammerhead shark closing in on a stingray in the shallow coastal waters. The chase is on and the shark is gaining. Just when it seems like the stingray is trapped, it uses its powerful wing-like fins to propel itself upwards with incredible force. It bursts through the surface of the water and soars through the air, sometimes for several feet. The shark, confined to its watery world, can only watch as its meal flies away. This astonishing leap gives the stingray a few precious seconds to change direction and find a new escape route when it lands. This is not the only surprising battle in the ocean. The moray eel, a formidable predator in its own right, might think twice after attacking an armored fish whose tough scales prevent its sharp teeth from finding a grip. Small clams have been known to clamp down on the mouths of predators trying to eat them, leading to a surprising stalemate. These underwater tales show us that the rules of predator and prey are just as flexible beneath the waves as they are on land. With venomous spines, incredible agility, or tough armor, the underdogs of the sea are always ready to surprise their opponents. The animal kingdom is a stage for countless stories where the odds seem set, but the outcome is anything but predictable. In this world, the smallest, most unassuming creatures can turn the tables on their would-be conquerors, using wit, agility, and sheer determination to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. It's not always about brute force, venom, or sharp claws. Sometimes the winner is the one who thinks fastest, moves with the most daring, or draws on a deep well of courage, especially when family is on the line. On the open plains and in dense forests, even the most skilled hunters can find themselves outwitted by prey that refuse to give up. Picture a bobcat, muscles coiled, eyes locked on a darting squirrel. The bobcat is a master of stealth and speed, but the squirrel is a master of chaos. The squirrel's world is a maze of branches and leaves, and it knows every twist and turn. Its survival depends on its ability to leap, twist, and vanish into the treetops in the blink of an eye. When the chase begins, the bobcat surges forward, but the squirrel never runs in a straight line. It darts left, then right, doubling back, using the undergrowth as a shield. The squirrel's every move is a calculated risk. Sometimes it freezes, blending into the bark. Other times it launches itself into the air, trusting its tiny claws to catch the next branch. Its zigzagging path confuses the bobcat, who can only guess where the squirrel will appear next. The predator's frustration grows with every missed swipe. In a final, desperate move, the squirrel scampers up a tree, the bobcat close behind, but then, with a burst of speed, the squirrel leaps to a slender branch, one that bends under its light weight but would snap beneath the bobcat. The forest itself becomes the squirrel's ally, an obstacle course designed for the nimble and the quick. The bobcat, powerful but heavy, is forced to give up, outmaneuvered by a creature a fraction of its size. In other corners of the wild, victory is won not by speed, but by the unbreakable bond between parent and child. A mother rhinoceros, her calf at her side, is a living fortress. Her presence alone is enough to make even the boldest predators think twice. Lions, the kings of the savannah, may circle, their eyes fixed on the vulnerable calf. But the mother rhino stands her ground, her body a wall of muscle and armor. She positions herself between danger and her young, every movement a warning. Her horn gleams in the sunlight, a promise of swift retribution. Her thick skin shrugs off claws and teeth, and her horn is a weapon few dare to challenge. She is the embodiment of unstoppable force. With a thunderous charge, she scatters the pride, sending even the bravest lions fleeing. The calf remains safe, protected by a mother's love and fury. In another tale, a rooster, feathers fluffed and eyes blazing, stands between a hawk and his flock. He is outmatched in size and strength, but not in spirit. Or consider the tortoise, slow and seemingly defenseless, faced with the crushing jaws of an alligator. The tortoise withdraws into its shell, a fortress of bone and keratin, and waits. The alligator's teeth scrape harmlessly against the unbreakable barrier, and eventually the predator gives up, defeated by patience and design. These are the heroes of the wild, creatures who refuse to accept defeat, who find a way to survive against all odds. Whether it's a flash of intelligence, a burst of speed, or a heart full of courage, these animals prove that there are countless ways to win a fight, outsmarting, outrunning, or outlasting. Each victory is a testament to the power of adaptation and the will to survive. In the end, survival belongs not just to the biggest or the strongest, but to the most determined, the most creative, and those who never stop fighting for another day. As we have journeyed through the animal kingdom, from the blazing savannas to the mysterious depths of the ocean, we have witnessed a world governed not by written laws, but by ancient invisible codes. These are the unwritten rules of the wild, rules that shape every encounter, every alliance, and every rivalry. In the tangled undergrowth, even the tiniest insect knows its place. Ants march in disciplined lines, each with a role, while a lone beetle must decide whether to stand its ground or flee. Here, survival depends on reading the signals. An arch back, a flick of the antenna, a sudden stillness. These gestures are a language understood by all who call the wild home. When a mighty gaur faces a stalking tiger, the air crackles with tension. The tiger, a master of stealth, tests the boundaries, gauging the gaur's resolve. The gaur, in turn, signals its readiness to defend, lowering its head and stamping the earth. In this silent negotiation, both know the risks. The unwritten rule: never underestimate an opponent, no matter their size. The mongoose, small but fierce, stands its ground before a lion. It bares its teeth, arching its back, sending a clear message: I am not easy prey. The lion, recognizing the courage and unpredictability of its challenger, often chooses to walk away. In the wild, reputation matters. A single act of defiance can echo through the grasslands, altering the balance of power. The bombardier beetle, though tiny, wields a weapon few dare challenge. When threatened, it unleashes a boiling chemical spray, forcing even the boldest attacker to retreat. This is the rule of innovation. Those who adapt survive. The wild rewards ingenuity as much as strength. But not all battles are fought alone. Across the plains and forests, animals form alliances. Birds mob a hawk, their shrill cries and darting wings driving it away from their nests. Herds of antelope move as one, their unity confusing predators and making it harder for any single member to be singled out. The code is clear: together we are stronger. The gaur herd forms a living shield, encircling their young and weakest members. Each animal knows its position, its duty. This is the rule of hierarchy. Every member has a place, and the group's survival depends on order and cooperation. Some, like the honey badger, rely on remarkable physical traits. Its thick, loose skin allows it to twist free from a predator's jaws, turning the tables in an instant. The wild is a constant arms race, where every adaptation is a response to another's strategy. The beetle's chemical arsenal is a reminder that even the smallest creatures can wield outsized power. In the wild, size is not the only measure of might. The mother hen, feathers fluffed and wings spread, faces down a would-be predator. Her courage is born of instinct, the unbreakable rule to protect her young at any cost. The mother rhino, massive and unyielding, stands between danger and her calf. Her presence alone is enough to make even the boldest predator reconsider. In these moments, the code of the wild is clear. The drive to protect family transcends fear. Yet these confrontations are not just about survival. They are about respect. A lion, after weighing the risks, may abandon a hunt rather than face the fury of a mother defending her young. The wild teaches caution. A single injury can mean the end for even the greatest hunter. Predators pause, watching from the shadows, calculating every move. They know that a failed hunt is not just a lost meal, but a lesson learned. The code: respect your adversary, for today's prey may be tomorrow's threat. An injured predator limps away, a stark reminder that the wild is unforgiving. Here, every decision carries weight, and the cost of a mistake can be fatal. In rare moments, predator and prey lock eyes, a silent understanding passing between them. Both know the rules, both play their part. Sometimes the bravest act is simply to stand firm. These stories, repeated across continents and generations, reveal the intricate web of relationships that sustain the wild. At a waterhole at dusk, predators and prey gather side by side, bound by the need for water and the truce of the moment. The wild is a place of balance, where every life is both hunter and hunted, challenger and challenged. Every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest mammal, has a role to play. The hierarchy is fluid, shaped by courage, cunning, and circumstance. Sometimes the most dramatic moments come from the most unlikely heroes, a tiny animal outwitting a giant, a lone defender turning the tide. So when you see a small creature standing tall, remember the hidden strength and ancient wisdom it carries. In the wild, every heartbeat is a testament to survival. For in the grand, unwritten rulebook of the wild, courage, cleverness, and the will to live can make a hero out of anyone, no matter their size. The wild endures, not because of its brutality, but because of its balance, a world where every creature, great or small, is bound by the same timeless code. In the endless theatre of the wild, some of nature's most ingenious survivors remain unseen. Welcome to the realm of camouflage, a world where appearances deceive and invisibility is the ultimate shield. Beneath the dense foliage, a leaf insect sways gently, perfectly mimicking the veins and contours of a living leaf. Its predators pass by, fooled by the illusion. Nearby, a stick insect freezes in place, indistinguishable from the twigs around it. For these masters of disguise, blending in means survival. On the forest floor, a tawny owl perches silently. Its mottled feathers mirror the bark of the tree, rendering it nearly invisible to both prey and predator. When dusk falls, the owl becomes a shadow among shadows, watching and waiting. In the coral reefs, the octopus reigns as a shape-shifting artist. With a single thought, it changes color and texture, melting into the rocks and sand. One moment it is a patch of coral, the next a flash of color as it launches a surprise attack on an unsuspecting crab. The snowshoe hare, cloaked in white during winter, vanishes against the snowy landscape. When spring arrives, its coat turns brown, matching the thawing earth. This seasonal transformation confounds hungry foxes and lynxes, buying the hare precious seconds to escape. In the savannah, the young lion cub's spotted coat blends with the tall grasses, keeping it hidden from both predators and prey. The art of concealment is its first lesson in survival. The leaf-tailed gecko clings to a mossy branch, its jagged outline blurring into the bark. Only a careful observer might notice the flicker of an eye or the subtle movement of a tail. For the gecko, invisibility is both shield and sword, protection from hunters and the perfect cover for ambush. Even in the open ocean, camouflage is key. The cuttlefish glides above the sandy seabed, shifting its colors in a hypnotic display. It confuses predators, distracts rivals, and draws prey close before striking with lightning speed. Every corner of the natural world is home to these silent magicians, creatures who turn the art of hiding into a way of life. In their world, stillness and mimicry are as powerful as tooth and claw. Here, survival belongs not just to the bold or the strong, but to those who can disappear in plain sight. In the wild, the unseen are often the undefeated. As the sun slips below the horizon, a new cast of hunters emerges from the shadows. Welcome to the realm of nighttime predators, creatures that thrive when darkness falls. In the moonlit forest, the great horned owl glides silently between ancient trees. Its eyes, 10 times more sensitive than our own, pierce the gloom, while its ears detect the faintest rustle of a mouse beneath the leaves. With a sudden swoop, the owl strikes, talons closing in on unseen prey. Beneath the canopy, the leopard prowls. Every muscle tenses as it melts into the darkness, its spotted coat a perfect shroud in the dappled moonlight. With whiskers attuned to the slightest vibration and padded paws that muffle every step, the leopard is a master of stealth. It waits, patient and invisible, before launching a swift, decisive attack. In the desert, the fennec fox emerges under the cover of night. Its oversized ears rotate like satellite dishes, picking up the subtle movements of insects and rodents burrowing beneath the sand. With a burst of speed, the fox digs rapidly, unearthing its next meal. Farther afield, the jaguar slips into a shadowy river. Its powerful jaws and night vision make it a formidable predator in the dark. With barely a ripple, it stalks caiman and capybara, striking with precision from the water's edge. In the depths of the rainforest, the tarsier clings to a slender branch. Its enormous eyes, adapted for nocturnal life, reflect the faintest starlight. Silently it leaps from tree to tree, hunting insects and small lizards with lightning-fast reflexes. Under the cover of darkness, these predators rely on heightened senses and remarkable adaptations. Some use silent flight, others acute hearing or infrared vision. All are united by a single purpose: survival in a world where the faintest shadow can mean the difference between feast and famine. In the night, the hunters reign. Their stories are woven into the fabric of darkness, a testament to nature's ingenuity and the eternal dance of predator and prey. As dawn breaks, a different kind of marvel unfolds. One not of tooth and claw, but of creativity and precision. Across the wild, animals become architects, constructing intricate homes and fortresses that rival the grandest designs in nature. High in the treetops, the weaver bird begins its masterpiece. Using only its beak and nimble feet, it gathers blades of grass and strips of leaf. With astonishing skill, it knots and weaves each strand, shaping a hanging nest that sways gently in the breeze. Each structure is a testament to patience and instinct, a safe haven for future generations, suspended far from lurking ground predators. Along the riverbank, a beaver works tirelessly. With powerful jaws, it fells trees and drags branches through the water. Piece by piece, it assembles a sturdy dam, transforming the landscape itself. The rising water behind the dam creates a protective moat, sheltering the beaver's lodge, a hidden sanctuary with underwater entrances, safe from the reach of would-be intruders. Beneath the forest floor, a colony of leafcutter ants embarks on a monumental task. These tiny engineers carve out sprawling underground cities, complete with ventilation shafts and fungus farms. Each ant has a role. Some cut leaves, others tend to the precious fungus that feeds the colony. Their cooperation and organization turn chaos into order, and the earth above is shaped by their silent, tireless labor. In a sun-drenched meadow, a honeybee hive buzzes with life. Inside, thousands of bees work in perfect harmony, building hexagonal cells of wax with mathematical precision. Every chamber is meticulously crafted to store honey, nurture larvae, and protect the queen. The hive is a living fortress where teamwork and communication ensure the survival of the colony. Across deserts, forests, and rivers, animals shape the world around them, leaving behind a legacy of ingenuity. Their structures shelter the vulnerable, defend against threats, and nurture the next generation. In the story of survival, these animal architects remind us that the wild is not only a place of struggle, but also one of extraordinary creativity and design. In the untamed wilderness, every day is a test of resilience. Here, animals face challenges that push the limits of endurance and ingenuity, where only the most adaptable survive. On the windswept tundra, an Arctic fox braves a winter night. With temperatures plunging far below freezing, it relies on its thick fur and keen senses to track down a single mouse beneath the snow. Digging through layers of ice, the fox's persistence pays off. A tiny meal, but one that means the difference between life and death. In the parched savanna, a herd of elephants journeys across endless plains in search of water. The youngest calf, exhausted and lagging behind, is nudged forward by the gentle trunk of its mother. The matriarch leads with memory, guiding her family to a hidden spring remembered from seasons past. Against the scorching heat and relentless drought, it is wisdom and unity that ensure their survival. High in the Andes, a spectacled bear climbs steep cliffs in search of fruit. The journey is perilous, the rocks are slick and the winds fierce, but the bear's powerful limbs and sharp instincts allow it to reach a cache of ripe bromeliads. Each climb is a gamble, but in these mountains, fortune favors the bold. Deep in the rainforest, a glass frog guards its clutch of eggs from hungry predators and torrential rains. When danger approaches, the tiny frog positions itself as a shield, risking its own life to protect the next generation. Through vigilance and sacrifice, even the smallest creatures can defy the odds. Every habitat presents its own trials, from searing deserts to frozen forests. Yet time and again, animals prove that survival is not just about strength, but about determination, adaptability, and sometimes a little luck. Against all odds, life finds a way to endure. In these stories of perseverance, the wild reveals its most profound lesson, that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, hope and tenacity can lead to victory. In the wild, survival often means going it alone. But sometimes nature's most extraordinary successes are built on teamwork between the most unlikely of partners. Across the globe, animals form alliances that defy expectations, forging bonds that turn rivals into collaborators and strangers into allies. High above the African savanna, a small bird perches atop a massive rhinoceros. This is the oxpecker, and its presence is more than just coincidence. The oxpecker feasts on ticks and parasites buried deep in the rhino's thick skin, giving the bird a steady meal and the rhino a much-needed cleaning. But the partnership goes deeper. The oxpecker's sharp call warns the rhino of approaching danger, turning a simple meal into a life-saving friendship. Beneath the waves, the relationship between the clownfish and the sea anemone is a masterpiece of mutual benefit. The clownfish, immune to the anemone's stinging tentacles, finds shelter from predators within its swaying arms. In return, the clownfish defends its host from hungry intruders and provides nutrients through its waste, creating a thriving oasis in the bustling reef. In the dense jungles of Central America, leafcutter ants and fungus form a partnership that rivals any human agriculture. The ants tirelessly harvest leaves, not for themselves, but to feed a special fungus cultivated deep underground. The fungus, in turn, becomes the ant's primary food source. Together, they create a self-sustaining farm, each species utterly dependent on the other for survival. And in the heart of the Australian outback, the thorny devil lizard and the tiny ant seem an unlikely pair. Yet the lizard's unique scales collect morning dew, channeling water straight to its mouth, while it feasts exclusively on ants. Though their connection is indirect, the lizard's survival hinges on the ant's abundance, and the ecosystem's balance is maintained through this delicate link. These alliances, woven through every corner of the natural world, show that cooperation can be as powerful as competition. Whether in the air, under the sea, or across the land, animals have learned that sometimes the best way to thrive is together. In the story of the wild, friendship is often the key to survival.